Hey, what's up guys, it's Matt with the Movement System. We're here with Mark Morinch to show you guys exactly how to throw harder in 6 weeks. We're gonna take you through a full baseball workout, just like you're one of Mark's premier clients out here at Elevate Sports Performance and Healthcare in Las Vegas. So we're gonna take you through mobility work, explosive movements, a main lift, alternating movements, arm care, and then at the end we'll talk about exactly how to progress this for 6 weeks so that way at the end of 6 weeks you're throwing harder as well as staying healthy. Let's go ahead and dive into it. All right guys, so Mark's gonna start us off with some foam rolling here. What do I gotta do?
All right, Matt, so the first thing we're gonna do in the foam roller, we're gonna be laying on our side. This is a little bit different than our usual foam rolling of the muscles. We're not trying to get knots out or anything like that. We're gonna start on our low ribs and we're gonna work our way up into the armpit. All I want you to do is have this hand planted, this foot on top of the knee, and you're just gonna sit there. You're gonna lay there and roll front to back. You're not gonna go up and down on it. You're just gonna roll in towards me this way and then back out that way. Yep.
Anything I mess up, Mark's gonna tell me exactly how to do it. When we get to the med ball throws, that's gonna be important. So how long are we going?
We'll go about 1 to 2 minutes here on each side, but you definitely wanna get your throwing side. The closer you get up towards the armpit, the more tender it's gonna be. All right, next up is gonna be bear crawls. So to start, we're gonna start down on all fours. The most important thing in this drill is that as we push away from the ground, we're trying to fill up the space in between our shoulder blades with our upper back. Now, we don't wanna do that till it's too tight. So if you feel a lot of tension in your upper back, you push too far. As you go through the bear crawl, you're gonna wanna maintain this. So we push up in here, and then we're gonna crawl opposite arm, opposite leg. Be nice and controlled with it so that we're not moving our hips too far to the side one way or the other. We'll go about 5 yards forward and then 5 yards backwards. Have your eyes looking right in front towards your hands. These look perfect.
All right, popping up from bear crawls, we'll go into our pogos, and we have a 2 jump sequence here. So we'll go from band assisted and then we'll do a box jump. So let's head over there. All right, so now we're gonna get into our band assisted pogo hops. If you have a rack or something high, you wanna attach a band here. If you don't have a band, you can always kind of grip onto something and jump, but if you have a band, that's even better. All right, so what we're gonna have Mark do is grip on that band pretty hard, so that way he's decreasing his body weight, and then he's gonna jump as high as he possibly can. We're just gonna go 5 really explosive reps here to show you what's going on. So he's gonna be light on the feet, quick off the ground, and trying to touch his head all the way to the ceiling. This is gonna ramp up his nervous system and get him ready to jump and be explosive for the rest of his workout. After the band assisted jump, we're gonna head over here to a box jump. You've probably seen a box jump before, but we're gonna do it a little bit differently. There's nothing wrong with a regular box jump, just throwing your hands up, arms back, and then jumping. But the way we're gonna do it is with a pre-hop, so that we were getting a little bit of pre-tension into those muscles. So what we're gonna coach Mark to do here is step about 2 or 3 feet back from the box, give it a pre-hop, and then a jump. So let's see it, Mark. Pre-hop, jump. And then what we're gonna coach here is no lazy arm swing. What we see a lot of younger athletes especially doing is just kind of lazily jumping down or dropping down and coming up. The faster your arm swing, the more you're gonna load your muscles. So we're gonna teach what's called a scoop technique. So as we get into that pre-hop, it's gonna be an aggressive scoop to get you up and onto that box. So let's see it. Pre-hop with that aggressive scoop. There you go. And what you can see Mark did is really good. He got full extension, scoop down, and then it was an explosive jump up. So we want to be really precise with these. Each repetition, big aggressive scoop, jumping as high as we can and just landing on the box.
All right, after the hops and the jumps, we're gonna go into a lateral sled drag. So to set up the lateral sled drag, I'm gonna stagger my stance. So for right here, right foot will be back, left foot's in front. We're gonna step over the right foot with the left. And you really wanna make sure that you're getting towards the inside edge of the foot that's pushing off. So the left foot, we wanna find that inside edge, eyes looking straight ahead. We'll go for about 20 yards here and then we'll switch sides. One more important thing on the sled drag is that when you're starting it, we wanna make sure that we have full tension in the sled, arm is locked long, and we're gonna keep that as we go. So the most important thing for power training for a baseball player is we wanna actually throw stuff and we wanna throw it hard. So we're gonna do a med ball throw today. This one's gonna be a little bit different than what we've done. We've done rotational shot puts before. We've probably seen a side scoop or a side toss before. Now we're gonna add a step back. So I'm gonna set up the same, arm's gonna be up, elbow's gonna be here, and as I go, I'm gonna step back 2 steps, my front leg first and then my back leg. When I step with the back leg, I want to get into this back hip as much as I can and then explode out of it. So now we'll coach Matt through it and see what he's got.
All right.
With the med balls, we want to keep them light, 3 to 6 pounds, so you can throw it really hard.
And so left, right into this hip.
Yep.
And then go.
Yep.
And elbows out.
Elbow high, and you're gonna push it hard.
All right.
So we don't want to go super quick into it. We want to actually feel our weight getting into that back hip as much as we can. We want to find our back pocket and then push off the inside edge of our foot as quickly as we can. So you want to step back controlled, but find it and then get out of it. Keep your head centered over your belly button.
All right. Oh man, there we go. Ooh. Now we're talking.
That was clean.
All right guys, so now we've been through some of the explosive movements. We also want to make sure we're working on our foundational strength. Building strength over time gives you a higher ceiling, so that way when you're doing those power movements, you can actually learn to express more power. So it's really important that we're also including strength movements like this trap bar deadlift. And we're gonna show you 2 different setups here. Now, Mark and I were both pretty tall. With a regular trap bar, if you can get all the way to the bottom without compensation, without needing to round your shoulders forward, without needing to move your knees in or out, then we can go here. But for a lot of guys that we're gonna coach here, it's probably gonna be closer to an elevated position, especially for taller guys. So we'll kind of show you both. Let's start with the elevated position. This is gonna be easier to reach to, and we can actually load it a little bit heavier because the range of motion is shorter. So don't think one is better than the other. I think for a lot of guys, the elevated is a really good option. So we're gonna have Mark squat down here. We're gonna keep the shoulders directly over top of the hands. We're gonna get a strong grip on the bar, and then we're gonna tension, like lift halfway. So if this bar is like 145 pounds, he's gonna lift like 100 pounds, and then he's gonna lift the rest. So it's not gonna be one jerking motion off the blocks. He's gonna lift pre-tension, and then he's gonna lift. And you can see with that pre-tension, if we come around towards the back side of his shoulders, you can see the back shoulder muscles actually activating there. So go ahead and set it down. Next rep, you'll see with this pre-tension, there he's sitting his hips back, strong back muscle contraction, and then he's lifting up. We're gonna train this for 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps.
All right, after our main lifts, we're gonna move into our accessory lifts. So for the accessory movements, we wanna make sure we have a lot of single arm work or stuff where we have alternating movements, like an alternating dumbbell press. Right here, we're gonna show you a rotational landmine press. So this is very similar to a landmine press, but with it, we're gonna have the rotational component. So Matt's gonna set up with the landmine. He's gonna have his stance staggered, just like our med ball throws. His right foot is gonna be back, since that's his backside leg. We're gonna start with the elbow slightly in front of our chest, eyes looking straight ahead, and then he's gonna dip into his back pocket very slightly, and then rotate up and press it. Good, so 2 important things we wanna make sure we do is we wanna have that front leg rotate as we go. And then when we get to the top, we wanna make sure we get a full reach of our shoulder blade. Not overextending, but just making sure we get a full reach.
We're sweating out here.
So the last thing we'll do is some arm care work. Arm care, I like to think a little bit different than our traditional arm care where you're doing I's, T's, and Y's. Not that that stuff is wrong, but I like to make sure in our arm care stuff, we do stuff that's gonna improve your range of motion, especially at the shoulder and especially with the shoulder blade. One of my favorite exercises for that is this side lying arm bar. So Matt's gonna start here on the side, and we're actually gonna have the kettlebell down to start. You'll see that he's got his feet, hips, and head all in line. He's gonna support his head with his hands, but if you have 2 pillows and you're at home, or if you have little pads at your gym, you can put that under the head. We want our head looking up towards the sky, and then from there, he's just gonna press it up the kettlebell and turn his palm up towards his head. We'll sit here for about 30 seconds or 5 nice and relaxed breaths. And one thing that we can do is we can feel like our shoulder blade is reaching up towards the sky. As we do it, we wanna make sure that we're not reaching too hard from our upper trap. This looks perfect right here.
All right, now for the important part, which is how to progress this week to week, so that way after 6 weeks, you're getting the best results from this type of training. Now, this is just one workout. You could repeat this exact same workout a few times a week and get pretty good results, but we would actually encourage you to switch it up a little bit with similar exercises, and then also to progress your weight and to progress the number of reps you're doing. We recommend starting with about 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps of all the movements you saw today, and then progressing load, or the amount of weight on the bar, or the amount of weight that you're using for the exercise as your first progression.
And then to make sure that you're progressing this properly, I've created a workout template for you that has your warm-ups, it has your speed plyo throws, the main lifts, your accessory lifts, and the arm care. It also has a guide on what exercises you could put in there and fill in on your own if you don't know what to do. All you're gonna have to do is pick the exercise that you need and then choose the sets and reps that are most appropriate for you, whether you're in season, off season, or preseason.
So there'll be a link in the description below to download that. And guys, I would really encourage you to do that. These exercises that Mark put together are really great, and I've seen his athletes really do a good job of moving their shoulder blade well, learning to move their rib cage, and staying healthy for a long season of baseball. If you want to learn more from Mark, all of his content is super great on baseball. Dude, Mark, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Take care.